another episode of Buzzer Beater. Jake, this is actually episode number 7. We're gonna have more seasons than the Kardashians. This is freaking awesome. 7 episodes and we have not been shut down yet. But I was talking to some fans, you know, the like 3 fans that we have, the 3 that watched live, and they said they were gonna live tweet us. So let's take, before we get into the show, check your Twitter to see what the fans have been saying about Buzzer Beater so far. You can use the hashtag Buzzer Beater during the 30 minutes of this show. Let's see what we got here. You got anything? Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Wait.
Oh wait, hold on. Raylyn McCleary, mother of Jake, is giving us a shout out. Thanks, Mom. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
Episode 7. What we got to start the show off today?
Start the show off with women's soccer.
All right. Well, like we said on most episodes of this show, the beginning of the season has been hard for BYU-Hawaii, but as of late, they've been getting things back together, and they're having a win streak right now.
They are. We've got the women's soccer record right now is 4-4-1. They are bouncing back from that slow start, and yesterday we beat one of the good teams in the conference, Hawaii Pacific University. So I see them coming back. I see they're making a run for that conference. That was their goal at the beginning of the year, and right now they're showing that they can actually do it.
Now, currently they're 3-2 in Pac-West Conference play. They're ranked 7th, I believe, in the Pac-West standings. So there is a ladder that they need to climb because the top 4 teams in the Pac-West standings will go on to the Pac-West Conference tournament. Now, it's like this in almost all sports. If you can win your conference, you get an automatic bid into the NCAA tournament. When we talked to Coach Dumar before the season even started, he said his first goal was win the conference, and then second goal was to make a run at the national championship. What are you seeing right now from BYU-Hawaii, which will elevate them to that top 4 tier in the Pac-West Conference that'll get them that automatic bid into the NCAA tournament?
Well, Coach Dumar had made a couple changes in the roster. He has a couple different girls playing different positions. Like, for example, Whitley Sargent, she's playing forward now for the past 2 games, and she had 2 of the goals yesterday in yesterday's victory.
Okay. Well, women's volleyball. For such a long time, we were talking about like how hard it was for women's volleyball to get things together, but they finally got things together. The 7-game losing streak has officially ended, and now they are 4-11.
Yep, 2-4 in conference, 4-11 overall. And I think the next most important thing for these girls is these next 8 games. The next 8 games are at home. And so last season at home, the Seasiders went 9-5, but this year so far at home, we're only 2-4. And so these next 8 games are extremely important. They're obviously important to win games, but here at home, if we can win these maybe 6 out of 8, if we can win at least 6 out of 8 of these games at home, that will help us go into the road games and get some victories and eventually make a run at the Pac-West Conference Championship.
Yeah, it's a road that, you know, has been really hard for our Seasiders, but they definitely can do it. And you actually sat down with one of the women's soccer players, Lillian Bradley, in the Seasider Spotlight. Let's go to that Seasider Spotlight, Jake McCleary and Lillian Bradley.
Aloha, Seasider fans. Welcome to today's Seasider Spotlight. I'm here with Lillian Bradley for the women's soccer team. Lily, how you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Great. I have a lot of questions for you today that we're all interested in to hear your answer. Do you play Pokemon Go?
Pikachu! Ooh, well, I have played Pokemon Go. My husband convinced me to download it, but I no longer play. But still, I have played. It's pretty fun.
Okay, follow-up question on that. Where's the best place on campus to catch Pokemon?
Oh, definitely. Probably, I know in front of the temple there's like a lot of like Pokestops. So if you're wanting to load up to catch some Pokemon, go to the temple. Like right in the circle.
Another reason to go to the temple. Good. The next question, hopefully this doesn't cause any problems on the team. Who is the strangest player on the women's soccer team this year?
Strangest player. I'm gonna say Sidetti.
All right, hopefully no fights come out of this. Why? But just tell us why.
Man. Maybe just kind of quirky sometimes, I guess. But the best kind of quirky. She's awesome. So.
And before a game, what's playing in your earphones? What's your pump-up music?
Pump-up music is definitely Chris Brown Radio on Pandora. Always has some really good jams for me.
Any specific songs? Or?
Probably Run It by Chris Brown is really good.
Nice. All right, last question. Most important question of the day. Star Wars or Harry Potter?
Ooh, definitely Star Wars. may the force be with you. So, yeah, definitely Star Wars.
It's too bad.
Why?
I'm just wondering, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Were you trying to Jedi mind trick her?
I was.
Was that your
No, I was
your
using
tactic?
magic. I was using magic. She should have picked Harry Potter.
That's true. Should have picked Harry Potter. Okay, fall sports. We're halfway through. Who is your Seasider MVP in the fall sports? All our sports, we got cross country, volleyball, soccer. Who has been the most impressive so far this year?
So it's not a player that we've talked a lot about, which we should be talking about a lot more, is Max Monker on the men's cross country team. He has won 4 straight first place finishes in his races. He is one of the best athletes at the school, but you would not know that just by looking at him.
Yeah.
He's one of the most humble, kind players in the school, and yet he's one of the best runners in BYU-Hawaii history, and that's why Max is my MVP this week.
My MVP is Jake McCray of the men's soccer team. Jake has been arguably one of the best players in the men's soccer program in BYU-Hawaii history. So far this year, he's been the player to lead BYU-Hawaii. He's the top goal scorer on our men's team. He's the captain of the men's team, and I don't think he gets the credit that he deserves because last year he had one of the amazing seasons, broke tons of records here at BYU-Hawaii. This season, however, he's taken a back seat to a lot of players. He's allowed Braden Bailey, who just won Pac West Player of the Week last week, he's allowed him to step into his new role. I think Jake has been the overall MVP, not only his individual production, but the things that he has been able to do for the team. We're going to take a commercial break, but when we come back, I sat down with Jesse Hine in the Seasider Spotlight.
In a world where hospitality is in short supply and businesses hunger for college graduates who are considered genuine gold, one university seeks to change the world for the better. Join our students as they discover culture, business management, and the Aloha spirit. Come gain real-world experience by working side by side with seasoned professionals and land your dream internship. Brigham Young University Hawaii's Hospitality and Tourism Management Program. 70 plus countries. 15 students per class. 9 semesters. Make one epic adventure.
HTM wants you. Careers are available. If you want a wonderful life and a great paycheck and a lot of fun, you should choose Hospitality Tourism Management.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Seasider Spotlight. I'm Mick Miller with Jesse Hine. Jesse, first of all, man, you are looking good. How do I get my hair to look like your hair?
You go to the beach all day and you get it messed up. That's how.
I think I see a little bit of sand on your face. So which beach are you going to? Temple, Bikini, what are we talking about?
I did Chinaman's Hat this morning and then Temple Beach just to lay out and tan.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. All right, 10 questions. You ready for this? 10 of the hardest questions you're ever going to encounter here at BYU Hawaii. I can guarantee you that. First one. If you had to be one superhero, which superhero are you going to be?
I love Thor. He's just got the hammer. It's unreal. No one can pick it up. Not even the Hulk. He's the best. He's basically a god, so he can't even die.
Be honest, you just want to date Natalie Portman, don't you?
It's true, and I want that hair.
Okay, I see. Okay, second one. If you could be a millionaire for one day, what big purchase would you make?
Oh, that's a tough one. But probably a plane. Yeah, a plane. If I
like a jet that you could go like anywhere on the planet?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, cool. If you were arrested and you had one phone call, who are you calling?
In my ward back home, we have a 2-star general, retired 2-star general. That was leader growing up, so definitely him. Yeah, Keith Thurgood.
Why wouldn't you call your mother?
She would just be crying. I don't really would know what to do. So.
All right, fair enough. Don't call mom. All right, fourth one. I'm gonna get all up in your business right now, and I want drama. I want a fight at practice today. So, who is the strangest player on the men's soccer team?
Probably Josh. No comment on that.
Fair enough, Josh. Sorry. All right. More serious question. Who is the most influential person in your life right now?
I definitely have to say my dad. Yeah, for sure. He's always making me chase my dreams. You know, I have the dream, but it's almost as if he, wants it more for myself than I do for myself. And it's just incredible how he pushes me and wants to make sure that I have no regrets and leave it all out on the line. So.
Well, I'd like to thank Jesse Hine for sitting down with us again. He's been actually one of the most impressive players on the soccer team so far this year. It was against Simon Fraser, that game, that he came in and really saved the game. BYU-Hawaii was down 1-0 against Simon Fraser. All of a sudden, he comes in, scores that goal, gives them a little bit of hope. But then they did lose that game. And since that game, he's just taken the momentum that he had, and he's just been playing really well for BYU-Hawaii.
And that was one of the most impressive goals that we've seen so far this year off of that cross. It was, hoping we get a clip of that soon to see that.
Yeah.
But continuing about men's soccer. Men's soccer yesterday played at HPU and had a tie, a very exciting tie, 4-4. You good?
No, I'm not good, but you can continue.
Okay. HPU, we tied 4-4, went into double overtime. The game was a little bit chippy at the end. We saw there was some benches were cleared, but no one injured.
And that's actually the second time this year that we've seen a game where the goals have been above 3 and it ends in a tie.
Yeah.
Which we'll debate another day, but yeah, continue. It's just like and they were down 4-2, weren't they?
It was a comeback win, and now
Well, to comeback tie.
a comeback tie. That's true, because you can tie in soccer, which we've talked about that before. But
actually, let's get into that. Like, why can you tie in soccer? Well, the score is 4-4.
Yeah.
So both teams are obviously on fire. They went into double overtime now, each overtime is 10 minutes, so you get 20 minutes to score a goal. If a team can't score a goal, you either play until someone scores, or do you do PKs? What do you think?
I would go into PKs. That's just that'd make the game more exciting, but I can't think of any other sport where you can end in a tie. I mean, golf, can you end in a tie in golf? I don't
Pretty
think
sure you can't end in a tie, because you have to have a winner.
Yeah, so
I'm guessing, I'm pretty sure, we'd have to research it, but I think soccer is probably one of the only sports.
Yeah.
Before we end this segment, we got a game against Dixie on Saturday. That's going to be very interesting, and we'll get into the Pac-West standings a little bit later, but Dixie is undefeated and is our rival. All right, let's talk men's soccer MVP. We talked a little bit about the Seasider MVP, who we're going to choose as our MVP in fall sports, but as it pertains to the men's soccer team, who has been the MVP, the most valuable player for them so far this year in your mind?
it's like we talked about at the beginning of the year, Jake McRae. He was projected to be the best player on the team before the season started, and so far he's lived up to that. He's scored 8 goals so far this season. He was the MVP last season. He's the emotional and vocal leader. He's one of the captains. And one of my personal reasons why I think he's the greatest on his team is how he practices. Mm-hmm. He treats every practice like a game from when we saw him. He doesn't make it any less intense than a game. You would think that he's playing in a game when you go watch him practice. He's one of the leaders. He leads by example, and that's one reason why the men's soccer team is doing so well so far, is just because of Jake.
I know I picked Jake McRae as my Seasider MVP, but I won't choose him as my men's soccer MVP. I'll go with somebody else. I'll go with Braden Bailey, the guy on the TV screen behind us. Now, last week, Braden Bailey was nominated to be the Pac-West Player of the Week, in a week in which he scored 5 goals only on 6 shots. Now, Jake is absolutely fantastic, but he takes about 10 shots a game, and he averages about 2-3 goals a game. Braden did that. He scored 5 in only 6 attempts. Yeah. Braden's been playing amazing. He was also named the Hero of the Week in Division II Soccer. Ever since he stepped into the starting lineup, the complexion of the BYU-Hawaii offense has completely changed. They've played a lot more aggressive. They've played a lot more fast. So if a men's soccer MVP I had to choose right now, I'd go with Braden Bailey just because of his pure athleticism. Now, this rankings actually needs to get updated. Currently, in the first place in the Pac-West Conference is Dixie State, the team we talked about earlier. They're 4-0 in the Pac-West Conference play, and they're coming to BYU-Hawaii this Saturday to take on our Seasiders. In second place is BYU-Hawaii. The tie against HPU propelled the Seasiders into second place, dropping Notre Dame down to the 3rd spot. HPU currently is sitting at 4 and Concordia at 5. Now the top 4 teams will go into the Pac-West Conference Championship. BYU sitting at number 2, not doing so bad, but what do they have to do to beat Dixie and elevate themselves to the number 1 team in the Pac-West Conference?
Dixie State right now is on a 6-0 winning streak. They're on fire. They're averaging, actually our stats are pretty much similar with theirs, averaging about 3 goals a game, allowing about 1 goal a game. However, they've lost 3 games on the road. They're 2-3 away, so road games have been the challenge for Dixie State. So my prediction is for this Saturday is we win. BYU-Hawaii wins 3-1.
That's a good prediction. Dixie State, very good defensive team. BYU-Hawaii, good offensive team.
Yep.
Be a very interesting game. We'll take another break, but when we come back, I sat down with my MVP, Braden Bailey.
First 2 semesters, I just loved it. It was the best experience I've ever had. Learning and just the friend group here and the jobs that I've been able to have here has been great.
It's been really awesome here. You just meet a lot of friendly people here, and I just love how we all have the same standards and we're all here to grow together.
Your campus is down the street from the temple, and being in the same community as the temple is such a blessing. You feel the spirit everywhere you go, especially on campus. You're right next to the beach. Everything is in walking distance. The school is really small, and it's nice to see everyone every day and be able to know people and say hi to everyone on campus.
BYU has definitely given me a lot of experiences and opportunities to change my dreams and to make them more realistic and to be able to dream bigger.
The atmosphere here, you can definitely feel a different spirit here in Laie, and especially on campus, which I really love.
What's up, Seasider fans? I'm Mick Miller. Seasider Spotlight today with Braden Bailey, who was recently named the Pac-West Player of the Week. First of all, Braden, congratulations. And what did it mean to you to become Pac-West Player of the Week?
It was just really special to me, just hard work paying off, and it's happy that we could do it here at BYU-Hawaii, let people know what BYU-Hawaii is all about and stuff like that.
This is a interesting question, and you gotta be careful, because if you say the wrong person, practice is going to get a little bit awkward. So, who is the strangest player on the men's soccer team?
I'd have to say my roommate Griffin Garcia.
Would you like to comment on that, and give us an example of why he's so weird?
He's just weird, man. He just does the weirdest stuff on and off the field. I don't know.
We'll get Griffin on the show next week. All right. Number 6. Who is the most influential person in your life?
Definitely my dad in everything. Soccer, just life. He's been the biggest, my hero. Everything, I look up to him the most.
If you had to choose one word to describe yourself, what one word would you choose?
I'd say hungry. I want to do big things in this sport and my life. I'm only 18. I have a lot of years left to decide what I want to do, so I'm just hungry. I don't know.
All right, if you could be one celebrity for one day, which celebrity are you going to choose?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe Zac Efron.
Why? Because you want to date Vanessa Hudgens?
Yeah.
I feel the same way. All right, number 8. If you didn't play soccer, what sport would you play?
Basketball. I think basketball takes a lot of athleticism, and it's really hard, and I respect the basketball players a lot. So.
Another week of college football down in the books, Jake, and this might have been the most entertaining week of college football. Let's talk about Clemson versus Louisville.
Whoa.
I swear, we have the weirdest producers in the world. All right, can you talk now?
Okay, so this was an awesome week of college football for me. I went 3-0, meaning my NFL team won, my college football team won, and my fantasy team won.
Yeah, but in your predictions, the predictions that we did last week, you went 1-2.
Okay, yeah, that's true. That's true. But good thing I'm not actually like a huge fan of any of those teams. Those are just predictions.
Fair enough.
But one of the most exciting games this week was Clemson and Louisville, who I picked Louisville to win, but you were right on that one when Clemson came out with the win, 42-36.
You know what the big difference in that game was? I believe Clemson was up 21-10 with around 36 seconds remaining in the half. A lot of people thought that Dabo Swinney was just going to instruct his players to just kneel the football and go into halftime with an 11-point lead. He didn't do that. He told Deshaun Watson, will you please get us into the end zone? So Clemson goes, I think, 73 yards off of 4 plays in 32 seconds, and they score a touchdown. Now, they went into halftime up 28-10. However, that dude Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
I mean, he is on another level right now. He's still my Heisman hopeful, even though he lost. I think he outplayed Deshaun Watson. Honestly, the things that he was able to do, he threw for almost 300 yards, ran for about 150. They came up with the loss, but it was technically his receiver's fault at the end of the game that they didn't win.
It's just that second half performance by Lamar Jackson really kind of secured, as of right now, his Heisman hopefuls, even with the loss. Just about Louisville in this game, the pressure was all on them. There hasn't been a team, I don't think, that has propelled themselves into the top 5 so fast as Louisville did. And even though they lost, I believe they're ranked 7th now. They're still ahead of, I believe, 7 undefeated teams so far this year. So they're ranked 7th, I believe. And I believe they still make it to the playoffs.
Well, let's continue this conversation. Let's talk to Deshaun Watson, Lamar Jackson. Okay. These two players, mobile quarterbacks. It seems to be mobile quarterbacks are the quarterbacks that you want on your team in college football. It's something that can't happen in the NFL. Lots of players can do it, like Cam Newton, but you saw this week, Cam Newton, he went down with a concussion in the first half. But in college football, you can have a mobile quarterback and you can get outside the pocket and make some big moves down the field. Deshaun Watson or Lamar Jackson?
I'm going with Lamar Jackson, like we said. Deshaun Watson did play well. I believe he will get more votes for the Heisman this week. But once Watson loses a game this year, which I believe they will, I don't believe they go undefeated. Once they lose a game, I think that secures Lamar Jackson as Heisman if he continues what he's up to right now. I believe he's at 28 touchdowns or something like that, something crazy, where no one is even close to him. So right now I got Lamar Jackson.
I will agree with you, Lamar Jackson, but I'll make a case for Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson, he played absolutely fantastic against Alabama in the national championship last year. Yeah. I think the only thing Deshaun Watson has on Lamar Jackson is 2 things. First of all, I think his defense is a lot better than Louisville's defense. Okay. And second is he has more experience than Lamar Jackson does. One of the big things that quarterbacks need to be able to do, Jake, is they need to be able to win on the road. Lamar Jackson came this close. I think with a little bit more experience, he'll come over Deshaun Watson. But at this point, I'm going to go with Deshaun Watson with a slight edge over Lamar Jackson. All right. Did you see that catch by the Michigan cornerback? I mean, one-handed catches seem to be the thing in college and in any level of football. Yeah. Well, so let's debate the Michigan interception, the one-handed interception this past weekend, or the Odell Beckham one-handed catch.
I'm going to have to go with Odell Beckham's one-handed catch last year. Just because it's like this goes with the situation of the game. Odell's catch was for a touchdown. And Michigan, that interception, that sealed the deal. But should he have caught it is the real question. And if he would have batted that ball down, that was 4th down. They would have had the ball, I believe, the 5-yard line. So situation-wise, I believe it goes to Odell Beckham. But both catches were dope. I don't know if any people with that physical capability of doing that, what those 2 people did.
Athleticism, definitely, they're not lacking. Let's take another break, but when we come back, we're going to talk NBA, NFL, and it's going to be a whole bunch of fun. Stay with us.
outsiders for a couple of reasons. One is they played well in the second half. They got the win. They're in the tournament.
BYU-Hawaii, number 1 seed all the way, wins the regional title of the NCAA West.
Great win for us. It was a nice win. We held our composure and this would close down. It's tough to close out in the championship, but we did it.
It's still surreal to me.
It's hard to imagine that Coach Wagner, when he called that timeout with 13 seconds left on the shot clock, was setting up a play for a 40-foot jump shot with 1 second left on the clock, but Pablo hit it.
So long for beautiful Laie, Hawaii.
All right, before we talk Ben Simmons, I got to do something. I'll be right back.
All right. Oh, that's it? Yeah, stay down.
Well, yeah, I didn't want any producers' feet in the shot or throwing paper airplanes at us. All right, Ben Simmons, number 1 overall pick in this last year's draft. So much hype about this guy. The next LeBron James. He's going to save the Sixers organization, although he could not take his college team to the NCAA tournament. Fractures his foot. Now, he did get surgery this week. The doctors said it was successful surgery, that he will recover 3 months. What in the world is going on with Ben Simmons? What in the world is going on with the Philadelphia 76ers organization?
You know, I like Ben. He's got the confidence of Donald Trump. He's got, like... I had to say that. He's, people...
I think you just lost your... You just had to
No,
say it. You had to say it,
it,
didn't you? Well, the buzzer's going off, so you can just stop.
Okay, well, yeah, I'm actually not really a fan of Ben Simmons. I just had to say that.
Okay. NBA training camp. NBA training camp was last week, a week in which the teams are able to come together, get a lot of camaraderie, chemistry, and see how things are going to shape up for the regular season. Now the preseason games have started, and did you see what Golden State did yesterday?
I told you, dude. I told you last week.
Okay, I'm not going to make a big fuss about this because it was the preseason.
Yeah.
But Golden State won by 45 points.
Yes, they did.
It's like when Jake and I play 2K. It's just unfair, and I come away winning by 50 points. It just doesn't seem fair.
You cheated.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. NBA training camp, teams, players, situations, something that stuck out to you so far.
One of the teams that I'm looking at that's not one of those super teams are the Bulls, and the Bulls are happy right now because they're not making headlines. Usually at this point in the year, they're worried about someone getting hurt.
Derrick Rose.
D-Rose, yeah. And they've had no drama. They got a lot of optimism going into the regular season and into this preseason. And the next team is the Pacers, who are really focused on defense. They're one of the elite teams in the NBA, and most people don't think that they'll be able to compete with the Warriors or the Cavs. So they're focusing on defense right now. And if they learn how to shut down some of those super teams, they can make a legitimate run into the finals.
Yeah. Teams I'm keeping an eye out for. Okay, first of all, you know how big of a Russell Westbrook fan I am.
Yeah.
How much I love the Thunder and how much I would love for Oklahoma City to knock out Golden State and Kevin Durant in the playoffs. However, they lost to Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Now, Real Madrid is a soccer team. No, well, they have a basketball team, but they lost to this random team. Now I understand it's a preseason. Russell Westbrook only played like 12 minutes, but come on. Another team, the Washington Wizards. I'm intrigued just because John Wall and Bradley Beal, very explosive, awesome backcourt, and my dad works for him, so got to give a shout out to them.
Okay.
Julio Jones and Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan threw for 500 yards, tearing up the Carolina defense. Julio Jones caught for 300 yards. That's the first time in NFL history that a quarterback has, well, that's what happens when a quarterback goes for 500 and 300. It just shuts everything down. That's what happened to the Panthers defense. It looked like it was just completely shut down. They couldn't do anything against that offense.
One of the biggest mistakes that I made last week that I've repented of is I had Matt Ryan on the bench. But I was
Big
still
mistake.
able
I
to
had
win.
Louis.
I was still able to win fantasy. Luckily, that didn't cost me very much. I had Cam Newton, which there were two really good quarterbacks, but Matt Ryan just did way better this week, and I didn't put him in.
What did you hear what your boy Josh Norman said?
Yeah, I did. He took a shot at his old team.
He just cannot
Carolina.
keep his mouth shut, can he?
Doesn't need to.
Well, speaking of Josh Norman, speaking of your Redskins, the NFC East is a debate that I've been wanting to have with you on this show for a while.
Okay. They have been known to be one of the worst divisions in NFL for a couple years.
Hold on.
This year,
I don't think so. I think the Colts division is the worst. Has been the worst because you got the Jaguars, you got the Titans, you got the Texans, and then my Colts are just awful.
The NFC East right now is the only division in the league without a team with a losing record. So they're one of the best divisions in the league right now.
So what does that mean for your Redskins?
Redskins, last year they
you
won the division.
You still think they win the division?
Yes, I do. I still have them winning division this year because last year when they won the division, they started out 2-2. Right now they're 2-2. They've been known to get going near the end of the season. As much as I don't like that because I hate to see them lose at the beginning of the year, but I see them picking it up. Kirk Cousins is finally coming into his own, finally playing well, and I see them easily taking the NFC East.
Okay, this is where I'm going to argue with you. Okay. And you know, I don't like to argue with you.
You love to argue with me.
That's a lie. Okay, Eagles are currently my team to win the NFC East. Okay. I'm not sleeping on Carson Wentz. We've actually talked about this quite a bit, that we've been seriously impressed with this guy who came from North Dakota State. I think the Eagles are my favorite to win this division. Behind them, and you know I do not want to say. I'll just say that team with a really big stadium with, you know what I called the Dallas Cowboys arena the other day?
What?
The Arkham Asylum. You know why? Because it's the home of all these criminals.
Luckily,
I hope I don't end up working for the Cowboys one day, but I got the Cowboys coming in second just because Dak Prescott, as much as I do not want to compliment a Cowboys quarterback, is playing out of his mind. Ezekiel Elliott, a former Ohio State Buckeye, he's starting to come into his own. He ran for almost 140 yards, I think, this Sunday. He's playing absolutely fantastic. But enough of that. Let's talk about your brother, honestly. BYU-Hawaii men's basketball. On Monday, we were able to go to practice. We watched them play pickup. We sat down and talked with some of the players. They're kind of in trouble, but at the same time, they didn't look too bad. Why they're in trouble? They've got 5 players that are out. Some of them are key players, like Justin Park. I talked to him just today. He's still got his knee brace on. He's still nursing that knee injury. They've got 8 new players. They've got a brand new head coach. But 3 of your roommates are basketball players. What have you heard and what have you talked to them about as it pertains to BYU-Hawaii men's basketball?
Yeah, I live with Tanner Nelson, D. McCleary, my brother, and Juhan Lee. And D and Tanner are arguably the strongest players on the men's basketball team, but the leaders on the team are LJ and Corey. But I'm just interested to see who's going to step up besides LJ and Corey, because 2 leaders, what if one of them gets hurt? They're going to need another leader to step up. And I know Tanner and D want to fill that role. I know Juhan's looking good. We saw Gabe throw one down. They're all looking good. If they can just nurse those injuries, then we're good to go.
And we have gone past the buzzer. Again, thanks for tuning in to Buzzer Beater. Make sure you catch our BYU-Hawaii Seasiders in action this week. Soccer, volleyball, cross country this Saturday. And next week on Buzzer Beater, I sit down with Justin Yamzon. We'll see you next week.
Hey, no one's throwing stuff at us right now.
Yeah, I feel good. Like, no water on my suit, nothing like that.